guys, I'm Kirsty, and this is my Uncle Beau,
It's Jimmy, bitch.
and we are the same person.
Written in a different font. Thanks for joining us again, guys. It has been a few weeks since we've been able to get an episode out, and we really appreciate you guys being patient with us. And just a reminder, if you are new here, to please like, comment, and subscribe down below. And we appreciate everybody who comes to hang out and have a drink with us on the couch. And boy, do we need a drink. So
We need a shot for this episode.
we need a shot for this episode. So we're just going to say cheers
Cheers.
to everybody, and let's do this. Let's make stupid faces on the internet.
Yeah. Ugh.
Ooh. Well, that was fun.
Ugh.
We're going to go ahead and take a sip after that. Yeah, we definitely have to keep that on the internet. So,
Yikes. So, what are we doing today?
Yeah, we're kind of freeform this episode. We were going to turn Uncle Beau into a swifty, but I think the mood of this is probably inappropriate for silly, and then what the rest of this is going to be. So for all of you out there who look forward to turning Uncle Beau into a swifty, it will return. We'll be back with it on the next episode.
Today's our little vent sesh. We're just gonna go.
We have a lot to talk about. Our bullet points are everywhere. Welcome to 2025. The world is on fire. We're only 3 weeks in, and all I have to say is it 2029 yet? Because I have had enough.
Enough. That's what I said to somebody on my status. Enough.
Yeah, I've had enough.
I've heard enough. Let me pull up my docs so I can see where we're going from here. All right, we got the world is on fucking fire. Okay, so you start. What's going on? Tell us how you feel about everything, what you're thinking. I went on a cruise and I couldn't even enjoy my cruise because I was like freaking the fuck out about the world.
Yeah, I have a lot to say, and normally I am calm, I am collected, and I am rational. And normally I am
the passive liberal.
Yeah, I really tried to be, but the floodgates have been open, and I've been pretty fired up for the past few weeks.
I knew it wouldn't take long.
Yeah, well,
3 weeks.
well,
Probably 2, actually.
it didn't.
You've been pretty rowdy on Facebook for the last week.
I will say, I've had 4 people call me, one to make sure I'm okay, 2 to really say I'm here and I see you and all that good stuff. I've had 2 of my Trump friends call or text and say that they were sorry for the things that were going on and that they didn't agree with them. And I had one person who I haven't talked to in about, I don't know, maybe 4 years, text me out of the blue yesterday and say, thank you for what you're doing on Facebook. So,
See? Sometimes it's a good thing to be a loudmouth bitch.
sometimes. So, if any of you follow me on Facebook, and if you don't, you're probably glad right now, because I post about 7 times a day about whatever something stupid is going on. But within 5 days, or was it 6 days? I can't remember. Within 5 or 6 days of the inauguration, a few things happened. One, I started getting extremely homophobic, extremely disgusting messages from people on social media that basically were wishing me dead, and they were glad that now that Trump was in office, that the LGBTQ people were going to be eradicated. And it was quite disgusting, and it was
something that you haven't experienced
in a long
in the
time.
last cup, right?
In a long time. I mean, like, I
The
always,
correlation
Yeah, I always knew it was out there, and I have been gay bashed, not physically, but gay bashed verbally before, usually in small doses and usually in Pennsylvania. But but the rate at which people were saying vile things to me online was just disgusting, and it was within the first 6 days of the inauguration. And I can't even repeat what most of them are. I took screenshots and put them on the internet on Facebook so that people could see what was happening. But also within
One
those
guy
six,
said super AIDS were gonna come down and wipe out all the gays.
mm, yeah,
Jesus was sending
Jesus was
super
going to send
AIDS.
super AIDS. Yes,
Jesus
yeah,
was gonna send super
yeah. Um,
Hi,
and
big, big emphasis on Jesus.
and the second thing that happened in the first 6 days is that Idaho's legislature voted to overturn gay marriage within 6 days. So now my marriage and its federal recognition is in jeopardy. Now, there is the Dignity of Marriage Act, I think it is, or whatever, that Joe Biden signed, but they can easily gut that. And so a lot of the federal protections, 1,138 rights I get with my marriage. 1,138 rights every straight person gets with their marriage that they probably take advantage of and don't even know it, that
What
are
are some of
in
those
jeopardy.
rights that people don't even think about
The right to see my
and take
husband in
for
the
granted?
hospital.
Right.
If
Health
you're
insurance.
health, yep, health insurance, filing your taxes together, making medical decisions
But
for my spouse. If I die and all of the money and the wealth that we have built together, I have to leave it to him in a will and it gets taxed because he's
mhm.
not my spouse. He's not entitled to my social security benefits. And if I was, but I'm not, if I was a veteran, not able to receive the veteran benefits that that he would normally get. There's so many stupid little things that people take for granted that I would lose if that happens. And you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
um
I think that's I once read this story and it was the most horrific story that I've ever read about marriage rights. It was about these two men and they were together for years. This was before gay marriage was legalized. And he went to work and he fell off of his roof.
mm,
And they lived together, they built a life together, they built wealth, and they had a home, and they had all of this stuff, and his parents completely cut
oh,
him off because he was gay,
yeah.
and whenever he died, absolutely everything went to the next of kin,
Hmm.
and that was his parents,
Who had
and they didn't give anything to his significant other. They wouldn't let him go to the funeral. They wouldn't let him see him in the hospital. It was a horrible, horrible story.
mm,
And I don't think sometimes people realize that nobody deserves that, whether you believe it or not.
right.
Like, nobody deserves to not be able to have what they built with the person that they love or see them when they are in the hospital or do that type of stuff. People think just because they don't think that it's okay. Well, it's so much more than that.
It's so much more than that. Another same horrific story, when gay marriage was legal in 8 maybe states and Florida did not recognize it. A couple went on a vacation, a lesbian couple went on a vacation in Florida, and the one woman fell ill and she was in ICU. And even though there are protections that you can do, there are like powers of attorney that you can put in place, and
Right.
there are legal documents that you can put in place. And she had those legal documents with her because they were in a state where their marriage wasn't recognized, and they still wouldn't let her see her wife in the ICU. They still wouldn't let her make medical decisions, and that woman died, and her wife
And she wasn't able,
wasn't able to be with her.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And the people who just sit idly by and say like, "Oh, it's no big deal, blah, blah, blah." To think that they are okay with things like that happening is insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's cruel. That's what it is. It's just fucking cruel.
So much of what is happening right now is cruel. And we have Christians who are calling for a Christian bishop
A bishop?
to be hung for asking the president to have empathy for like minorities.
Mercy. And it is a scary, scary thing what's happening that people can literally look me in the face and say that they're following that man because he's a Christian. And he literally he walked out of that inauguration and literally bashed a woman in the Christian faith who was like in the Christian faith and told her that she sucks at her fucking job. There's no way that you can look at that and say, "Oh yeah, that right there is a Christian." When all she did, she didn't say anything bad to him. She just asked him to show grace and compassion to the people that he was rounding up like fucking stray dogs.
And I mean, who is against that? Like
Nobody, and nobody should be.
like who is against showing compassion and empathy? Like I just don't I don't understand it. I can't wrap my head
But
around it.
we're the radicalized ones.
Well, and you know what? It's funny because so all y'all out there, I know some of my righty friends are listening to this, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate that you're listening. Even though I'm angry, I can still have a great conversation with people. A lot of people on the right are the people who often say that liberals only think with their feelings and they want to legislate and rule with feelings, and that's bad. You have to rule with logic. And to a certain extent, I agree with that because I literally cannot take my emotions out of the equation. But I cannot take my empathy out of the equation. And I know,
To not feel any type of empathy or feelings or remorse or anything literally makes you a sociopath. I don't want to be that.
yeah. So
So
when
I will feel the feelings because the
I don't have a
alternative
choice.
doesn't look too good.
Well, I don't have a
Yeah.
choice. A particular friend of mine who probably doesn't listen, but a particular friend of mine, we talked about music once. And I was like, this song changed my life. And she was just like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, it spoke to something in me that changed the way that I thought about a thing. And she
It
was,
changed your brain chemistry.
yeah, and she
Yeah.
was like, that's never happened to me. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like art. That's
Are
the
you
purpose.
human?
That's the purpose of art, you know.
Right?
And now Trump is trying to take over art, art,
Look at that transition.
art.
Yeah.
What art can and cannot say. He wants to be the chair of the. I'm sorry. It's your turn. Pick a thing,
Well,
anything.
the first day he got into office, he got rid of all of the
Mm.
DEI, and he blames everything on the DEI. Is that's why the planes crashed. The fires in California, he blamed DEI. And I can't figure out for the life of me why anybody thinks it's a bad thing. He's like, "We're going back to merit-based." Yeah,
It was always merit based. It's still
was
merit based.
always merit-based.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can't choose the white person over the black person because the other person is white with the
Yeah.
same they're
So
the
like
same merit.
so there was years and years and years without DEI, right? And DEI is not just for minorities, it's also for women. Let's say lawyers and doctors
Mm-hmm.
and you
Hmm.
know, we go in and that's a male dominated field, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
You have
And
two candidates.
women weren't allowed to hold those positions for a very long time.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
A woman or a minority trying to break through that barrier to begin with was damn near impossible, and they had to do quadruple the work of any other person in the world, but even just a woman. Let's meet them halfway because they can't understand what it's like to be a minority, but
Right.
there are women. So you go into the field and it's a male dominated field. Police, lawyers, doctors, judges. Yeah, like that, those are male dominated careers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a man is interviewing you, right? Let's say the woman give the better interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
That man will look at that woman and say, "Oh, well, why would I hire her whenever maybe in like 2, 3 years she gets married, she has a kid, when I could just hire the man who not as good as her, but I won't have to pay her maternity leave."
Right.
That is what that protects you from.
Yeah. And
It forces them to include everybody who they wouldn't necessarily include. Like,
absolutely. I have a huge conspiracy theory about this.
what's your huge conspiracy theory? Why am I so damn close? What the hell? Okay, what's your conspiracy theory?
So I have a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
And my conspiracy theory, all y'all conspiracy theorists on the right, just step the fuck down for a second because I'm allowed to have a conspiracy theory as well. This is my conspiracy theory. With Project 2025 and the removal of DEI, this path that they're going down, the ban on abortion and the ban on contraceptives and all of that thing that they're going down,
They want women to be
not only but they don't want to say it. What they want to do is make sure that women can't return to work because they keep having babies and that they fall out of positions of power and that they are unable to participate in the workforce in the way that white men can, that men can. I probably shouldn't have said white men because all of the righties are like, now you're racist. And I'm like, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, I roll. But that they're actually trying 100% to force women to be barefoot and pregnant so that they can't be a part of the upper echelon of the workforce. That is my
so
conspiracy theory.
I agree, especially with black women also. They can't fucking stand black women. They want them out. They want them out because they're not one bit timid.
Mm,
They say it like it. Jasmine Crockett is
love,
rocking their fucking world right now.
love her.
She is she does not hold back. She's
Mm-mm.
so incredibly intelligent.
Yes.
She's so smart. And she comes with fucking receipts every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's not
I love
she
her.
does her research. She works her ass off and they hate that. They
Mm-hmm.
cannot stand that. I mean, the most right now in our country, the most educated population are black women.
Because they
They
have
are
to be.
exactly, and they work
Mm-hmm.
so hard because they have to work harder than everybody else to get where they're at. And now they're talking about defunding HBCUs. So they didn't want them in Harvard. So they created their own. And now they're going to defund them. It's fucking blatantly obvious what they're doing. It is so incredibly obvious. And everybody wants to be like, oh no. No, whoever is more deserving of the job should get it. Do you think that ever worked? Because no, it didn't.
No.
Like, No, it never worked. There was minorities, there was women who were so overly qualified, and
And
they always
overlooked.
picked the yes, they always picked the white man, always. That's why they started DEI, and I'm so sorry, but the percentage of DEI that they have to hire, that's a DEI hire,
Mm,
it's so small.
it's ridiculously small.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're mad that they have to hire one black person in the whole fucking company? Like, what the fuck? That's insane. That is crazy. That makes you so mad that 3% of the company has to be diverse.
Well, you know what? Well, you know what? That and because this is a tangent based a podcast today.
Yeah. I told you it was event sesh.
Yeah, I'm like those same people who are mad about DEI hires are the same people who are mad that the Super Bowl halftime show didn't have any white people in it.
So now you want equity, inclusion, and
Now,
diversity.
now you want to be included.
Now
Now
you
you
want
want
it.
inclusion.
N- because when it doesn't include white people, when they feel like somebody else is getting equal rights or, you know, opportunities, they feel like
The
they're being
fury,
oppressed. Like they're like, "Oh, you're oppressing me because you're giving someone else an opportunity."
fury,
And
fury.
and then you want to say there's no such thing as white privilege. You're literally exuding it. It's coming out of your fucking pores.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I went to school with a lot of people who are voting for Trump, and it's very confusing to me because they're like, and nobody can say I'm racist. I grew up with black people and I have black friends.
No, you know black people.
That is like the signature I'm racist comment. I have black friends. I can't be racist. No, you can have black children and be racist.
Mm.
You can't be mad that your black friends are getting opportunities, but then say, oh, I'm not racist. They're my friends. Well, then you should be voting for them and you should be fighting for them and you should be fighting for your gay friends and your wives. Like, no, you are out for yourself. And that is it.
The hardest lesson I ever had to learn
Yeah.
was that people that
I
I care a lot about don't care
it is.
about me at all.
Mhm.
And and
It really is.
it's a shame because I love those people
Yeah.
a lot. And you know what? I would give up things for them.
If their rights were being taken away,
I would
we
riot.
would be outside with pitchforks.
I would riot.
That's a hard pill to swallow. When you come to the realization that the people you thought would fight for you don't.
Don't.
Yeah. Like that is something that it changes you and how you see people and relationships and friendships and family.
I've known it for a long time, but it became abundantly clear from a lot of people in this moment in history. And it hurts. It hurts. It's hard.
Yeah, like it's inexcusable at this point and I'll never forgive it. I know a lot of people are very more forgiving, but
G said to me,
too serious.
G said to me the other day, I don't know how you're not bitter. And newsflash, I am.
Yeah. I knew that you were getting pissed off when you started. You have been quiet on Facebook for as long as ever.
I'm
Whenever you post something on Facebook, it's like, "Oh my god, Uncle Bill posted something." And it's normally like you hanging out with your friends or like
for
you went
pride
somewhere.
or Yeah, we went to
Right.
dinner or my cat. I don't
But
post
you have
anything.
been going off. I love it. You know I do. I'm like, "Yes, bitch.
I know.
Let's go."
I know. And you
When
know,
you clap back at the one, I was like, I was at home like this.
who did I clap back at? What did I do?
When you said, uh, something about bullying me in high school, I was like,
Mm.
"Let's go. Period. Let's go." Uncle Bo is getting it on Facebook right now.
You know, you know, look, there's a dude in here that is pretty vicious, but I don't think that it's generally helpful to be vicious. And I try
Yeah.
really, really hard to not be vicious. But he had pushed me to a
Oh,
point.
no. He wanted that reaction.
He pushed me to a point where I was like, is this what you want? Because we can play this game. I'm willing to play the game if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was asking for it because it was, like, every single post. I'm like, "Dude."
But it was very entertaining. Everybody in my family has been, well, Grammy especially. Who is this person? And she was like, I can't stop reading. She was like, you were so patient with him. You were so patient with him. And I'm like, I am. But at a certain point, I will lose my patience.
Oh, no, I
Um,
would've told him to get fucked a long time ago.
yeah, see, it's not helpful.
You gave him more grace than he deserved, for sure.
I've given him way more grace
100%.
since then.
Yeah, he keeps coming back for more. I'm like, "God dang."
my
It's like those people who are just like I have one on mine too. He just is relentless. He got on my thing the other day about Taylor Swift getting booed, and he's like, "Taylor went to Trump's inauguration." I'm
no,
like, "Are
no,
you fucking insane?"
they will believe so many things. Um,
Like, what?
uh,
That is the craziest.
Wait, the Jesus dude on my Facebook. At one point, I got really, really frustrated, specifically with him, but just in general. And I was like, the next person who posts something about Jesus on what I'm talking about is going to get the Wiccan read and whatever. And he posted, and I spammed every fucking post that I could find on his page that was about Jesus with the Wiccan read, prayers to Allah, prayers to Shiva, prayers to Ganesh, um, prayers to
Hilarious.
Odin, prayers to Odin. It was like the next person who does it is I'm done. And about 30 posts, I was googling God prayer,
Oh
random
my
God prayer,
god.
and I was just on every Jesus post that he because I couldn't help myself.
So funny.
Like I was like, "You want to play? You want to go? You want to go? You want to step outside? Let's go."
Yeah, literally. That's what I'm saying. These people, they will spam everything, but then they don't want to, like he
Engage.
exactly. They want to say that you're wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but then they don't want to hear you out. Why do you keep commenting on my shit if you can't actually have a conversation or even just an understanding of where I'm coming from? That's what everybody's all up in arms about Doge right now. Like,
We haven't even started with that
guess
yet.
what? Guess what? I'm going to say a very unpopular opinion, and it's not going to be that not unpopular. I don't give a flying fuck how many condoms my tax dollars are paying for. I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as it's going to help, like, where it's going, I don't they're mad because it's helping other countries. I could care fucking less. Like, that's still people. That is still a person that it is going to and helping. I don't care if my tax dollars are going to Gaza.
It wasn't that Gaza, but anyways,
It wasn't Gaza.
it was not
It
Hamas,
went
but
to Africa. They went to Africa
hmm
for HIV
hmm
medication.
hmm
Great.
prevention, but yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Like, why would I be mad at that?
I don't know.
Like, I genuinely don't give a fuck. So they're like, why are all the liberals so mad that I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I could literally care less.
No, that's
I'm mad.
perfectly valid.
I'm mad that an unelected official has all of our fucking information now. That's what I'm mad about.
Okay,
I
let's.
don't care that my money is going to help people in a third world country. Great. That's amazing.
Okay, let's talk about. Okay, I'm trying to find cut points that I can put chapters in, and I don't think we're going to be able to do any chapters in this episode. This is just what you get. So let's talk a minute about USAID.
Okay.
So USAID was literally the first thing that Elon and Trump went after was USAID. And there's a reason. There's a reason. By the way, everybody enjoy my Canada. I'm pro Canada. Montreal, Victoria. You
We're
guys,
standing with Canada.
yeah, you guys are not the 51st state. As a matter of fact, if you could buy Massachusetts, that would be great. Anyways,
Wait till I move there,
yeah.
preferably.
So, one, USAID is less than 1% of the budget. Let that sink in for a second. All you people, less than 1% of the budget. It was approved by Congress for USAID to be a thing. You cannot, with executive order, dissolve USAID. Congress has to do it. There's a reason that there are checks and balances. All of the funds that are going to all of the places that they're trying to stop it from going to have already been approved. You cannot, Congress controls the purse strings. That is in the Constitution.
That's literally what Jasmine Crockett was saying. She said, I was here last year. I was here last year when they approved all of this stuff.
Yeah, so less than 1%. We're talking about less than 1% of the budget. Or, you know what? I'm going to be fair and I'm going to say it's 1% of the budget. The condoms to Gaza, which is not the Gaza
Not
Strip,
true.
not the Gaza Strip, Gaza in Africa, was to prevent HIV. Perfectly legitimate. Like, yeah, we
Why would
should
you
care
not
about
want to
that.
stop that?
And USAID also has people in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, and in other places throughout the world that when he froze funding and decided to fire everybody from USAID, there were American families who had no homes, no way to get home, no insurance, who didn't know what to do. They were all over the world. 2,600 people worldwide, not just in the US. It wasn't just the offices that he did that to, it was the people who were in Gaza.
All the other countries.
It
Yeah.
was the people who were in Africa. It was the people who
Right.
were in China. I don't know if it was China that I'm making that part up, but the other
Right.
two I know is true. What they also did was they froze HIV drugs that were going out to impoverished countries. There are children every day who are born, especially in Africa, but in a lot of impoverished countries, who are born with HIV. They didn't contract it. They weren't
They
doing gay
didn't
shit. They weren't doing gay shit. They weren't doing heroin. They were born with it.
they didn't deserve it. You know, because we're pro-life.
Right. Well, and those kids without HIV meds will die. Like, period, end of story. There's no fussing around about it. Those children will die. That money that goes to the Gaza Strip for USAID is for those people on the ground to be able to release funds to help families with children who are dying or are in imminent threat and imminent danger. And I'm going to be rude here for a minute, and my kind of rude, not your kind of
Yeah.
rude. I'm going to be
Let's see how rude it gets.
So, all of you pro life people, especially you people who believe that abortion is for some reason supported up to birth and up to 2 weeks after birth, like, where did that talking
Insane.
point even come from? But
Yeah.
every one of these kids that has HIV, every one of these kids that lives in the Gaza Strip, every single one of them are a person that you are willingly looking the other way while they're being aborted after birth. Like like
Literally.
like you
That's exactly what they're doing.
you don't care unless they're American. You don't care, and
Yeah.
I can't like families and children.
I got into an argument the other day on obviously Facebook with somebody about this. And you don't care that your tax dollars is going to condoms. I'm like,
No, I don't care at all. As a
no.
matter of fact, send more condoms.
Literally, I do not care.
No,
Like at all. And he's like, "Well,
is it gonna
you're
stop the
working
spread
for
of
that money."
HIV? Yes, do it.
I said, "I care about people. I care about people more than I care about myself. So, like, take my money if it's helping people. I've always paid taxes. Do you know what I mean? Like, that money has always been taken from me. I've never had it. I've never had a paycheck without the taxes being out. I'm not missing it. My budget is formed around it.
Mm.
Like, I would rather them take that money and give it to somebody who it's helping. Then actually, I guarantee you, the money that is spent this year with USAID is going to be pretty equivalent to how much
Like,
he spends on himself.
well, on defending him trying to close USAID. More money will be spent.
On fucking golf, for God's sakes.
More money will be spent on him fighting him trying to close USAID
Yeah.
in court than it will cost to.
That's what I said. I was like, do you guys even, the budget has always been there for us to look at.
Yeah, Elon
We could
doesn't
have
need to
looked
be
at it.
able. He doesn't have to go in there and look at it.
And guess what? Now it's gone. So we could have looked at the budget. It told us exactly what all that money was going to.
Mm.
And then he took it off. He got rid of the website. And then he said, however many billion dollars were going to condoms, because then we couldn't fact check him.
And it was a lie. It was
a lie.
It was a lie. Yeah.
And that's why everyone's like, you don't believe? Oh, look at all this stuff. I'm like, that's in a tweet from Elon.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I will never, ever, ever in a million years. First of all, I don't believe a single fucking word that comes out of their mouth, period. But I'm definitely not going to believe it when it's on Twitter. In a tweet with less than 160 characters. Like, yeah, I'm not believing that. Why didn't they put it in a court document?
And
because
now
it's illegal. It's illegal what they're doing. That's why.
And a lot of stuff that they're doing is illegal. And I know that there are a lot of people who are looking at it from a different light. And this is where Uncle Bo comes in. There are a lot of people who are looking at it from a different light. And from the light that they're looking at it, I get it. I understand, but Trump doesn't have access or doesn't have the power. Elon doesn't have the power, no matter what Trump says, to stop approved money that Congress approved already from going out. Neither of them have that power. That's the whole point, is that the next go round in March, when we're going to have to go through and we're going to have to look at the debt ceiling again, they can say no. They can shut down the government.
They could have said no the whole time.
In March, Trump and Elon could say, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. And Congress would vote on it, and he has Congress, he has the House, he has the Senate. Like, they would approve it, and all of that funding would be cut. But instead, he's saying you can't spend it now when it's already been approved. And he doesn't have that power. Neither of them have that power.
No, it's unconstitutional.
Yes.
Yeah, we have that for a reason.
For
so
now,
that
yeah.
people can't come in. Yeah. Which is even scarier to think about that.
The problem is that Elon threatened to primary them all. Okay. So for anybody who doesn't know what that means, generally speaking, the incumbent, I'm a Democrat, I've had this seat for however long. Generally speaking, a Democrat doesn't then come in and run against the Democrat. A Republican will come and run against the Democrat, but a Democrat generally won't come and run against the Democrat. So what being primaried means is that I've been a Democrat and I've been sitting in this seat for 10 years, and now a new Democrat is coming in and trying to primary me. So now I have to win that primary to go into the general election.
Yeah.
And what's happening, what is being done, is that Elon has said that anybody who doesn't fall in line, on the Republican side especially, anybody who doesn't fall in line and get with Trump's agenda, he will fund somebody else to primary them.
Oh, yeah. I understand what you were saying. No.
So, and
he will find somebody else to primary their replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay.
he has unlimited funds, so he can win any election, as was proven by the presidential election in my mind.
I love Jasmine Crockett today. She said, I have never once seen somebody occupy the Oval who was not an elected official. Ever. And he was standing in the Oval Office speaking over Trump the other day. Like,
Yeah.
they were asking him questions, and Trump's just sitting there while Elon is,
because
like,
Trump needs his money.
Hello? He bought Trump.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. We're gonna pick the farmers.
Okay,
You don't
we
know
got
about
Christians.
the farmers. You don't know about the farmers.
Okay, go ahead. Farmers for Trump.
It's not even the farmers for Trump, but it's the farmers. The farmers.
The farmers for Trump.
In Middle America depend on subsidies from the government.
Yeah.
They also depend on the contracts for the USAID to feed other people.
Oh.
So all of these farmers who voted for Trump are like, I'm going to lose my farm. And there's a specific dude on TikTok, and I keep seeing him, and he's like, all you people are saying, didn't you read Project 2025? Because it was in Project 2025. did you not read it? And he's like, I don't even know what Project 2025 is. All I know
He's
is that
like, I don't even know what Project 2025 is.
all I know is I wouldn't have voted. I didn't even want to vote. But all of the people around me told me that I had to vote for Trump. Otherwise, I was going to lose my farm. And then
Is that not insane?
Trump cut off all of the funding. And now these people spent tens, possibly hundreds of $1,000s in 2024 to buy infrastructure to make farming better in 2025 that the government was supposed to subsidize.
And they're not getting their money.
And they're not getting their money.
Oh, shit.
So they're going to lose their farms.
But
100%
and
I
that's
feel bad
exactly
for
what
them.
I was saying. I do feel bad. I do feel bad because he targeted the correct population of people.
These people didn't understand that if they voted for Trump, they thought that he was going to bring prices down and fix the economy and whatever, but they didn't think about the things that he was going to stop from happening. And
or all of those things that what they think is wasteful actually is and then tied into helping us.
right. I mean, these,
and I think that's what people have like a misconception about the trade and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we are giving money to these other countries, but they are also giving us things in
right.
return. So
Well,
you stop that mutual agreement, we stop getting things also. Like,
do you know what happens to these farms when they go under?
yeah, he's gonna buy up the land and he's
Big
gonna fucking put
corporations,
property on it.
big corporations come in and take the land that don't
Yeah,
have to pay
you know who's
taxes.
gonna be fun? Just like what he wants to do to, he wants to buy fucking,
Gaza.
not buy it,
He
not
wants
buy
to
it.
level it.
He take it.
Right.
No, it's level. He wants to just take it. He doesn't even think he has to pay for the land.
And
It's just
Canada
his.
and Greenland and the Panama Canal. I mean, like,
I'm on Canada TikTok right now.
buy me Canada, please.
Seriously, I'm like, if you're gonna open the border for refugees, please accept felons so we can come.
Well,
because we're stuck for that reason. But they literally said that their government has sent out like notifications that they are preparing for war.
Greenland has spent $2 billion.
Yeah.
Greenland has spent $2 billion, or I'm sorry, Denmark. Denmark has spent $2 billion to militarize Greenland. Denmark has also engaged France, Spain, and Germany to provide troops to put in Greenland to help defend Greenland from the United States of America.
So I get frustrated with this, right? Because, I have a lot of people who are pro-military. I think military is great to protect us. What that would be doing is not protecting us.
Mm-mm.
That is being greedy, violent murderers.
I think
Like, that's not protecting the US. That is taking things that don't belong to you.
putting America first on paper sounds really good. It really does. It sounds great. Let's put America first. Let's take care of our homeless. Let's take care of our children that need help. Like all of those things, they sound really good. But when you realize that by becoming selfish,
Greedy.
all kinds of bad shit happens outside of you. I wish that I didn't think about this stuff. I wish I didn't think about those kids dying of AIDS. Like, I, I really wish that I didn't think about it. And the people who are the fuck your feelings crowd and the deal with it crowd and the my family is going through a hard time crowd, I'm like, these are all first world problems that you're dealing with here. Your family is struggling. And you
You
know what?
are privileged.
But you know what? And here's the thing, for the people in the United States, especially the people in the United States, I am willing. So I make more money than I need,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't make a ton of money. I make more money than I need. Take my taxes and help Bob's grandma make sure that she has something to eat. Take my tax dollars that is more money, and I am in an upper tax bracket, so you're getting more of my money. uh, they're getting more of my money than they are getting of your money, right? So take my
But why
money,
don't we have that?
and pay for little Billy to be able to get his heart surgery so that he doesn't die. Take my tax money and help Grammy have Medicare. I'm perfectly fine with that. But also take my money and help
People. Just
people.
take your money and help people.
Yeah, like take it.
It's as simple as that.
Don't take all my money. I mean, like
Oh, for
I don't
sure.
want you to take all my money, but like
But like the upper tax bracket shouldn't be getting tax breaks.
no, absolutely not. And I'm perfectly happy paying more in taxes. Like I don't go without. I,
Right.
I don't go without. I don't need a fucking Ferrari. Like, I don't need a Porsche. I have an Audi, and that's more than I need. Like, I would go down if I had to, but it's not important to me that I retain the wealth. The only thing that's important to me when it comes to money, and all y'all, so this is my selfish part. I don't want to be poor when I'm old.
Yeah. And honestly,
Because
when
nobody's
you
going to
get
take
your
care of me
social
when I'm old.
security, I would take care of you.
You're not going to have the money to take care of me when I'm old. I have a certain lifestyle.
Yeah, I ain't getting Meals on Wheels. I'm not getting a food delivery service. I'll
Yeah.
cook you some shit myself.
Yeah. Look, like these people who have millions and billions of dollars, how much money do you need?
They
Because,
don't need what they have. That's for sure.
like, I have more than I need.
But the problem is they don't think how you are thinking. They don't care about anybody else other than themselves.
I know. I know.
So I always say, like, whenever we made the right person famous. People who give back and they support the people who don't have. If you would be famous, if you would be a billionaire,
Mm,
I would say we made the right person famous because you would give back and you would still care about people. They do not.
absolutely. Yeah.
They do not. They never have. They never will. They've always been about themselves, and that is it. And there's no changing that. Trump getting fake shot in the ear didn't make him find Jesus and all of a sudden care about people. That's false. That is a fake, fabricated story. The whole thing. Like, that, no, it's a lie.
And you know what? And let's pretend for a minute that Elon is uh, half of a good person.
Ah,
What he really wants, for whatever reason, is to go to Mars. And that's great. I actually really support that. Let's go to Mars. Let's do it. Could we send him first? But
Yeah.
like,
With no return flight.
could you do it tomorrow? but it's admirable to want to go to Mars. I think as a person who loves science and who loves space and who loves the universe and who is an atheist and who wants to understand the fabric of the universe, I can really wrap my head around why he wants to go to Mars. But at the expense of poor people, at the expense of old people, at the expense of children with HIV, at the expense of underprivileged people, I, I can't understand it. And I know that there are some people who are out there who are going to say that's not what he's doing and that I'm being dramatic and whatever. And that's fine. You can believe that. But at the same time, it's like.
But on the same note, we also told you he was going to come after gay marriage.
No, we did. And he didn't.
If you don't think all those people are all in on the same shit.
Yeah, Project 2025 was a thing from the get-go. Anybody who didn't believe it from the beginning was foolish. And anybody who doesn't see it is even more foolish. And I love everybody, and anybody who thinks different than me, I'm sorry, but you fucked up.
You were wrong. Wrongo.
You fucked up.
My mom was the other day, I told her that he was coming after Gay Pride Month and Black History Month. I saw that. I asked Steve, he can't do that. That's not going to happen. Well, it's fucking gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
It happened. Start listening. Okay. So, on top of that, NASA just reported that, let me read it verbatim so I don't get it wrong. NASA is ordered to scrub any mention of women in leadership from websites. Per NASA HQ direction, they were required to scrub mentions of women in leadership from their public sites by 5 p.m. to 9/25. The directive read, "This is a drop everything and reprioritize your day request." This is me blinking because I want to just cuss everybody the fuck out. Like, come on.
So
that's horrible. Honestly, for me to be speechless at things, that tells you a lot because there's no other reason to do that.
Other than to undermine women?
Like, there's no reason for that. There's no reason to get rid of Black History Month or Pride Month, or there's no reason for it other than you hate everybody.
That's not like you. Well, that's not a white man.
Who's not a white man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's who they want in charge. That is the only people that they want to have a say.
And just to be clear, because I am Uncle Bo, I don't think that every Trump supporter or every Republican feels that way, but I feel like the administration feels that way.
100%. That's exactly why they're trying to do the SAVE Act also.
Oh, God, yeah.
With the voting, like they know that is
I can't vote.
No, exactly.
I changed my last name. Not even because I got married.
Your birth certificate.
I changed my last name because I was doing something for my mother that have my mom's last name. That my last name doesn't match my birth certificate.
So the whole reason behind that, most women who are married, and not even women, most people who get married and they take their spouse's name, the majority of the people who they want their votes, they think are the people who can afford passports,
Mhm.
right? So the people that that targets are the low income people
Of course.
who are typically Democrats who can't afford to go buy a $300 passport so that they can vote.
Or they can't get a
And that,
passport because they're a felon.
right, exactly. That's exactly what I said. That is why that they created that bill, was because they wanted to make people of that certain population have to jump through hoops to vote.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
if you can't see that, all of the stuff that we have talked about today is clear. Like,
I do
it
agree.
should be very clear. Like, the things that he has done since he's taken office, like, you can go online and you can go to the government website and it will tell you all the executive orders that he has signed off on since he's been in office.
Oof.
And I was just at Grammy's the other day, and she said, "What are you looking at?" Or my mom said, "What are you reading?" or something. And I said, "I'm just reading all the for the it's my obsession right now. I just read all of the executive orders that Trump passes on a daily basis."
On
Um
camera.
on camera.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, because he wouldn't sign Martin Luther King
He
Day.
would never sign anything not on camera. I mean,
Yeah. So
but we're the dramatic
all of the
ones.
stuff, yeah, right. All of the stuff that he's passed has nothing to do with
Anything.
helping us.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with making the economy better. He wants all of the lower class minorities to just fucking suffer.
Oh,
That's pretty much
I
it.
mean, yeah.
Whenever he does
And
something that benefits me, I will say,
ooh,
be like,
ooh, he did
okay,
something I liked. He did something I liked.
okay, what?
He's getting rid of pennies.
Between him tweeting about MAGA booing Taylor Swift at the NFL and getting rid of pennies, I'm like, this is our president. This is our president.
I agree. Let's get
No
rid of
more
pennies.
pennies. Get
Let's
rid
get
of the
rid of
pennies and
pennies.
good job, MAGA, for booing Taylor Swift.
It costs 2 cents to make a penny.
Like,
You know what,
but the
Doge?
fact that
That was a good
he
thing.
wants to do it and get like applauded, like, you are so great. Thank you for getting rid of the penny. Thank you. Yay.
I'm happy. Let's get rid of the penny.
You for getting rid of Thank you for getting rid of paper straws and
Oh
fuck those
God.
turtles.
But the paper straws, really? Was that really a
Like,
thing that we had
why?
to
Why
work?
what you're doing? Why is that what you're doing before, like, going after price gouging?
Hold on, hold on. So, two things that are equally stupid. Going after paper straws, not pennies. I'm in support of the pennies.
You're 4 pennies.
I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm for pennies and the faith office. What?
Crickets. Just
What?
silence. Guess who is paying for that?
Me
We
and
are.
you. Wait, what? Wait. This is great.
Guess whose money that is. You don't care to help HIV, but yeah, let's have a faith office
Wait.
in our White House.
Anti-bias, anti-Christian bias. This country is like 70% Christian.
It goes back to exactly what I'm saying.
Well,
Whenever
we don't need that.
whenever we give space for like other faiths, Muslim, Jewish, all that, they're like, oh my God, we're letting them pray during the day when they're supposed to be working. my God. Oh my God. That is so anti-Christian. Faith office.
Faith office. You know what?
Office.
You know, hopefully we remember, but faith office is going to be a thing. Faith office.
Faith office.
every time Taylor Swift sings a song that says something that I don't agree with, I'm going to be like, faith office.
Faith office.
Yeah, listen to some Tori Amos, bitch.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I have one more thing that I want to
Okay, go
say
ahead.
that is
Let's go.
the thing that I wanted to end on, and I was waiting
Okay.
for this moment. In the last thing that I just want to say before we go, and this feels very important to me. So in 1922, the very first person had gender reassignment surgery in Berlin, of all places. Berlin had a very queer, gay, and transgender community there at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1933, the Yazis came through and burnt it to the ground. And it was the beginning of something that the world would rather forget. And here we are again.
The Schmolocaust.
Here we are again in the Schmolocaust.
With Schindler.
Where one of the first people targeted are trans people. Let's just think about that for a minute.
Yep. It is like textbook, guys. Like, if you really do your research on what happened in Germany, exact.
It really is.
The way that he is like feeding us all this information to overwhelm us so we believe him, like, it is textbook, and history is 100% repeating itself. By the way, thank God Trump really targeted those 10 transgender athletes. Thank God.
I know,
Because
really.
that was just such a huge deal, you know? Like,
Such
faith
a weight.
office.
Such a weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah, it's just like, thank God for that, because, you know, those 10 people really just, ugh.
Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody, for spending this vent session with us. We really appreciate that you've been here and suffered through this, because I know that this one was probably hard, and we really appreciate it. Once again, if you've made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe. And you know what? If you made it this far, go ahead and comment a heart below. Just to
Oh, I like that.
just to say you made it this far. And
I love
we
a little
would
task.
we would really appreciate that. And if nobody told you today, we love you. Thank you very much for
All right,
joining
see you
us. Have a good
guys.
night, guys.
Shadows free. Together we rewrite our destiny. Oh, oh.